She slowly got more and more frustrated until she eventually screamed at me, asking what's the point in having a rich guy marrying her mom if he wouldn't give her daughter money. Welcome back to They Did What, your source for the internet's craziest, most entertaining stories, where I go over them, analyze them, and most certainly make fun of them. Today, I'm going to go over a story titled, Am I the A-hole for kicking out my daughter and my wife out? And guys, this story is all about a guy. He's 39 years old. Sounds like he's been married for about 19 years. And long story short, he ended up kicking both his wife and his daughter out after he was pushed too far and found some very revealing things about both of them. You're going to see here, guys, that he starts off, he gets into this argument with his daughter, who's 19, a real spoiled brat. And let's just say she says things to him, in my opinion, that are unforgivable, but then comes to realize upon some things that she's not his daughter. And yet she has this whole attitude and sees him as an ATM machine, amongst many other things, nothing more. And rightfully so, he kicks her ass to the curb. And as you can probably imagine, this guy was getting a lot of heat from her family, the in-laws, his family, and all that. And he's simply wondering, was I wrong in this? Did I do the right thing? So I'm going to get a little more into this, guys, and go from there. So it starts off, he says, I, a 39-year-old male, had a daughter with my wife, a 42-year-old female, when I turned 20 years old. My now 19-year-old daughter has grown up to be a bit of an attention seeker and has often spread lies about others to try and stir drama, with herself at the center playing the victim. Yeah, she sounds like a great girl. What a wonderful person to have around. And this is his daughter. So when you see how he handles things, you're not all going to feel too bad for her. Now honestly, don't try anymore after I told her multiple times to stop. And just tell her that she's digging her own grave. Yeah, that's going to fall on deaf ears. She's a spoiled a-hole. The main problem happened 6 days ago when my daughter came up to me asking for $200 to go to the mall with her friends. I refused and she started pleading with me. I had already given her money during the month, so I told her no repeatedly. How about she gets a freaking job and earns that money herself? How about that? She slowly got more and more frustrated until she eventually screamed at me, asking what's the point in having a rich guy marrying her mom if I wasn't going to give her daughter money. You gotta be kidding me. Talk about the freaking nerve there. If I spoke to my parents like that at 19 years old, 25 years ago, whoosh, I'd been out the door. My dad would have slugged me. Guaranteed. Why don't you get a freaking job? How about that idea? This is the problem with parenting nowadays, when the kids just get everything. It's amazing to me. I immediately retorted, telling her that I was her father and that I wasn't some ATM she could use anytime. We started yelling until she blurted out that I was nothing to her more than an ATM, and because I wasn't even her biological father. Holy shit. I was really appalled and asked her where she got that idea from. She realized what she had said, and she furiously tried to cover it up until I told her that I would kick her out if she wouldn't tell me the reasons she said that. She told me that my wife sat her down after she turned 18 and told her that since she was an adult, she needed to know the truth. That my wife had cheated on me with 3 different people during the conceiving period of her birth. And there was a strong chance that I wasn't her father, since I always used a condom. She told my daughter to never tell me, since I had been funding their lifestyles, and it was better if I didn't know, and kept giving them money. Oh my God. This poor guy, all these years, thought this was his daughter. Well, now he can have a little sigh of relief, realizing this little ingrate, this asshole, which she is, we can all agree there. Hey, she's not mine, so you know what? Hey, no big deal now. But imagine that. You found out that your kid isn't yours, and the wife was cheating with multiple dudes. It wasn't just one dude, it was 3 different dudes, and you, but who'd she choose to marry? The nice guy. The guy most likely to be a provider. Because probably the other guys were Chad and Tyrone's, and, wasn't going to happen. I was shocked and heartbroken. When my wife came home, I confronted her and yelled at her after she confirmed everything. I told her to get out of my home immediately, and she started bawling, saying that I was cruel, and that I needed to support her and her daughter since I've been doing so all this time. Why should he have to do it? She's a liar. She's a cheater. That daughter isn't his. Can take a paternity test to prove that, a DNA test to prove that. I kicked them both out, but I gave my daughter $200 in cash because I knew she wouldn't have a job or savings, and she was less to blame than my wife. Obviously, the wife is the reason the girl acts the way she does. And I have to question, was this girl behaving in such a spoiled, a-hole, entitled way prior to learning that this guy wasn't the biological dad? That's a big question. But regardless, the daughter is a 19-year-old adult, and she needs to learn there are consequences to her actions. But the wife, now, we all know darn well that after being married 19 years, half the shit is his. So it's not like you can just kick her out. That's an issue I have with this particular story here. So obviously you'd have to hear more. But anyhow, it says here, I'm currently talking with my lawyer about pressing legal action against her and trying to get a divorce. However, she is being uncooperative. Well, no shit. She's not going to, get rid of her ATM machine that quickly. We ran a DNA test on my daughter, and it turned out that I wasn't the father. However, now, my in-laws are telling me to take my soon-to-be ex back since she was young and made mistakes. Well, of course, the in-laws are saying take her back because they don't want to deal with her. They don't want her living in their house. Obviously, there's a reason that, no, they don't want her. She's probably a giant pain in the ass growing up. She's probably a lot like this guy's so-called daughter. My own family is telling me to take my stepdaughter back. He put step in parentheses. Since she was raised like my own. But she kept a secret like this from me and tried to use me like her mother did. So I said no. They're all blowing me up right now and trying to get me to change my mind. So, am I the a-hole? In my opinion, no. Not at all. But again, I've reached a point in my life that I don't take shit from anyone. And it'd be one thing. It'd be one thing if, let's just say, he found this out, but the daughter had been good to him. That even went from a little kid, teenager, up until this moment, she would have been good to him. That would be a different situation, how to handle it. Believe me, I would see it in a different way. But the fact that the daughter, which isn't his daughter, is so disrespectful and so rude and said flat out, to me, you're nothing more than an ATM machine. I don't care if she's angry. I don't care if she's a teenager. I don't care if she's a girl with hormones and emotions. Bullshit. Problem is, nobody has accountability for their actions anymore. And so, bye-bye. You're not my problem. Now, the wife can obviously get things because, obviously, they're married and all that time. She's going to get half. No, but in terms of, supporting the daughter, why should she? Why should he? The wife and the daughter can go live with the grandparents, the in-laws. Shouldn't be his problem. Now, it goes on with a little update. He says here, I thank all of you who have seen and shared your opinion. I know some of you are calling it a troll, and they made a valid point. The DNA tests do not take longer than 6 days. And I know that many will not believe this and also call it a fake. But I meant to type weeks. I made a mistake, and if you don't believe it to be a fake, you can believe that. And my daughter cooperated with me because she came back to my house begging me for more money since she all blew it on something which I had no idea. Imagine that. I was still furious with her, but I couldn't let her run around the city without food or shelter. I told her that she cooperated and helped me, I would give her some money monthly. I wouldn't leave a girl helpless in the city, even if the circumstances are bad. I won't take her back or give her anything near as much money as I used to, but I will still help her. Well, a lot of people wouldn't do that. And in my mind, given how she behaved, she can go live with the in-laws. The mother's side. She can go live with the mother. Because obviously the mother's going to get something from this. Let's be honest here. Alimony, half the assets. She can go live with her. But how she treated him, bullshit. And again, in my opinion, if things had been different, if she'd been really good to him and loving daughter and all that, and then found out that, she wasn't his real child, then okay, then he can handle things differently with her because he had a bond for all those years that was his daughter. But no, she's terrible. Yeah. So I think is an a-hole for kicking them both out? Hell no. And I know there's going to be people on here going to watch this and say, SSM, you've gone too far. How could you do that? You raised that girl. Now, I'm not a parent. At least I sure as hell hope I'm not a parent out there somewhere. But there's a point where you don't take any shit. End of story. And the girl's a grown-ass adult. And there's no sympathy for the ex-wife. None. Piece of garbage. But that goes to show you how gals will cheat, and they'll pick the nice guy who of the different potential fathers, the most likely that will take care of things and be the good father and provider and husband, and this is what you got. Nothing but ATM. Now here is some comments from different dudes. One guy says, not the a-hole. I'm surprised your lawyer hasn't told you this, but stop talking to your in-laws. There's an idea. There's zero benefit to that. I would stop talking to your wife and your daughter as well. Tell them that everything needs to go through your lawyer, otherwise they will concoct more lies. It seems the daughter made the decision to see you as not as a father figure. That could be because she's angry that you didn't give her money, and she said that out of spite. But it more sounds like she's a spoiled brat, and she likely doesn't have any respect for you. She doesn't have respect for anyone. He made it clear in the first paragraph how she starts up drama and makes things about her and causes turmoil and all that. So she sounds like a little freaking a-hole. Now, he obviously raised her as well, so he is partially to blame for her how she is. But obviously her mother has a big influence. And I gotta wonder, when she turned 18 and found out that the dad isn't her real dad, in some warped reason, instead of lashing out the mom, because that's her biological mother, she decided to hate on the father, being angry at him for some stupid reason. Who knows? But regardless, she's an adult, you make your bed and you lie it, and she's not this guy's problem anymore. Now, if she was good to him, that'd be different. Again, he says, of course, her family and friends are acting like you're the jerk, and you should take them back. They don't want to have to take care of her and her daughter. Right. They don't want to deal with them. Another guy says, not the a-hole. Your wife had years to fess up and salvage the marriage instead of lying to you in order to keep up her lavish lifestyle. Not because she loved you, just for the money. Remember that you're grieving the loss of the life you thought you had, and you're allowed to be angry while you process that. It's easy for others to judge, but their hearts weren't just broken by a life-changing 19-year-old secret. Yeah, everybody's always quick to judge. Somebody does something like this, kicks out a wife, kicks out a daughter, whatever, when they find out that's what she did, that the daughter isn't his. But put yourself in their shoes and try to, think about that. But do remember that you loved your daughter for years as your own. So even though she's known for a few years, it's mostly her mother's fault, as daughter is a victim in this too. Trying to be too hard on her, she sounds entitled, but she is pretty much still a kid. Yeah, well, in my opinion, that she shot herself in the foot with her own behavior and actions. Yeah, her mom is truly the true villain here. I think we can all agree there. But the daughter, she needs to grow up. She needs a hard lesson, because it sounds like not just with the father, but she's just an a-hole altogether to everyone. Another guy says, the daughter stopped being the victim when she, like her mother before her, decided that the original poster was just an ATM machine. She already said she doesn't consider him her father, so why should he consider her his daughter? We all heard it. She says you're nothing to me more than an ATM machine. And again, I want to hear, she's a kid. She's 19. Okay, believe me, there's a time and place that people are 19 and get married and raising kids of their own. And in a way that was actually considered to be all right. Back at the time when my mom graduated high school, it was common for people at 19, 20 years old to get married and have kids. So no. Also, she's 19, the kid card. Oh, no, excuse me. Another guy says, the daughter stopped being a victim when she, like her mother before, decided he was an ATM machine, blah, 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 blah. Also, she's 19, the kid card needs to expire sometime. Right. Nowadays, in today's world, people consider their kids still their kids, and they're in their late 20s. Another guy says, finally, not the a-hole. I'm sorry, but you've been used very badly. As much as I would say the daughter is innocent in the situation, her view of the ATM machine will never change. Tell her that you will be there for her, but the cash train has to stop. She is an adult, so it is a good time to stop paying for her. If she loves you, she will want to spend time with you as her dad. If you're an ATM, she won't hear from you. You won't hear from her unless it's for money, and that speaks volumes to you. And as for your ex, take her for everything you can and give her nothing. The free ride is over. Well, that'd be nice in a perfect world, but I don't think he's going to take her for everything. She's going to take him for everything. But if that's the cost to have her out of his life, because he's 39 years old, he's still got plenty of time left to rebuild and start a new life and all that. And we're not also factoring in the pain he's in. To find out that this child, even though she's a little shithead, isn't his, and the lies and all that all those years, and his wife did that to him. Take that into consideration. But the guy will be able to move on and survive, as men can do. Got to stay strong. But yeah, daughter's 19. Get a freaking job. Go live with your grandparents or your mom's side of the family, and go to college or get yourself a good trade or something like that, and support yourself. Because the ATM stops here. If you're good to me, maybe I might be as a father figure. If you're good to me and have a real attitude adjustment, and I'm saying maybe. But as for the cash machine, it's done. End of story. Some people may not like what I'm saying here, but that's just me. All right, guys, that is it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. Guys, what do you think? Is he the a-hole or not the a-hole? How would you handle a situation like that? For you fathers out there, how would you handle a situation if you found this out and your daughter was behaving just like her? I'd like to hear about that. I really would. And also, guys, you come across a really good story, like to share something crazy, outrageous, whatever's along the lines of the things I do in this channel, by all means, email it to me, strongsuccessfulmale@gmail.com. Just give me some time and I'll get to it. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.